Hello everybody, again. Today I'm going to explain you exercise 8, part 2 is this one. So if you notice, the first thing that you have to do is the frame. I'm not going to explain how to do the frame because you have the dimensions on page 19 or you have a tutorial where I explain how to do the frame. So now I'm going to explain just how to do these lines in these two rectangles. For this exercise, we are going to use the ruler, the rubber, the pencil, very important, the 45 set square, and the 60 set square. There will be another tutorial where I'm going to explain how to go over with healthy pens this exercise. So I have the frame and I divide this part of the frame in two equal parts. To do that, you have to measure this side. This side is 245 millimeters. And if I divide by 2, the result is 122.5 millimeters. And if I pass into centimeters, the result is 12.25 centimeters. So I choose to put the mark in 122 because it's easier for me. But if you want to mark 12.25, I remind you that the mark of 12.25 is between 12.2 and 12.3. Is this space where is 12.25? But I prefer, because it's easier to mark 122 or what is the same 12.2. If you want to do a straight line with a ruler, it's very important to mark this dimension in both sides, because if you just mark in one side, it's difficult to do a straight line with a ruler. So mark in both parts, okay? Now when you have these two equal parts, we are going to do the rectangles. The rectangle is the same in everywhere. The dimensions is 160 and 80 of this side. So we have to draw these rectangles in the center. To draw these rectangles in the center, remember that you have to rest 180 less 160. 180 is the dimension, the measure from here to here, and we have to rest the dimension of this side, that is 160. The result is 20 millimeters. 20 millimeters we have to divide by 2, and the result is 10 millimeters. When we know that, we have to mark 10 millimeters on the top and 10 millimeters on the bottom. I do that like this because I'm going to do these two rectangles at the same time. So I will mark 10 millimeters in the other side, on the top and on the bottom, and after that, very soft, I'm going to join these two marks. Okay. Now, I know that this part is 122, 12.2. And I know that this side is 80. So I have to rest 122 less 80, and the result is 42 millimeters. These 42 millimeters I have to divide by 2. and the result is 21 millimeters, that is 2.1 centimeters. So when I know this measure, I go to my drawing and I will mark on the line that I've done, 2.1 or what is the same, 21 millimeters in both sides. And I'm going to join them. So I'm going to check now if from here to here I have 160 millimeters or 16 centimeters. And you can notice that it's like this, is 16. From this point, I'm going to mark 80 millimeters, 8 centimeters. And for this mark the same. Sorry. And I'm joining these two marks. And I have the rectangle, this first rectangle. I do the same for the other rectangle. From this point, that is the line that divides into equal parts this space of the frame. From this point, I'm going to mark 21 millimeters. And from this point, 21 millimeters. I'm going to join these two marks. And after that, from this, I'm going to mark 80 millimeters. That is the side of the rectangle. And I do the same in the other side, from this point. And now, I join these two marks, and I have these two rectangles in the center. So what I have to do is erase the marks that I don't need anymore. Well, I have these two rectangles, and now I'm going to focus on the exercise. This first exercise. What I see that the distance between these lines are 10 millimeters. Here in the center, the distance is 20 millimeters. And look, the distance between these lines are 10 millimeters. So what I'm going to do is on the bottom of this first rectangle, I'm going to mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 times 10 millimeters. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. When I arrive at 7, I have to mark until 20 millimeters and start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 every 10 millimeters. So I arrive here, I mark 20 millimeters, and after that I start again with 10 millimeters. Every 10 millimeters I'm going to mark until the 7 times. Now I'm going to mark every 10 millimeters in this side. How many times? 8. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 times again, just on this line, on the right part. Every 10 millimeters, 7 times. And these are the marks that I need. Now I'm going to do horizontal parallel lines. I remind you, I have to take the 45 set square, and very important, I have to put on a straight line, and the other, the 60 set square, will be the helper, and I will put here. This can't move. This is the only set square that can move. This is cannot move. And when I have the right position, I move it until the first mark. Very, very soft, because we have to erase a part. Very soft, and I do all these lines until the end. Okay, I finished. And now what I have to do is vertical lines. So I turn the paper, I take the 45 set square, and I put on this straight line of the frame. Look, on this straight line, and this, the 60 set square, will be the helper. And now, when I have the right position of the set squares, I go for the first mark. This first mark have to arrive until here, not until the last line, until this line. The second line of this line, not at this line. The third line until this line, like an stairs. Always one less. Okay. It's a mistake. And the last one until this line. Look, this is the last, this is 20 millimeters. I can start again, but I have to, now I have to add, to do on the contrary as before. And the last one. Okay. So this is exercises to practice to do horizontal and vertical lines. When I have all these marks, what I have to do is erase the part that I don't want anymore. So in this case, just a little, because when you go over with the felty pens, you will be able to erase all the pencil. Now, a little bit to know if you have to it okay or not.